Rokita will not come on a show unless you bust out It's Hot Tonight by Alice Cooper, Republican Congressman of Indiana. I think the Hoosiers are back on the top of the mountain in the ratings. Todd Rokita. Toddy, what's up?
Hey, Dennis. Good to be with you. I've been reading the dictionary all week.
All right.
Getting ready for this interview.
Listen, I've been checking out Bobby Wilkerson, Scotty May, Kurt Benson. Who's the other two cats? The Quinn Buckner, and I forget who the fifth cat was on the old Indiana. Was that 34-0? Possibly the greatest college team ever, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah. A little bit before my time, but whatever.
Whoa. Please, buck up. That's like telling me you've never seen Hoosiers. All right, Rokita, what do you got here with this state? I can't believe you can't go cross state lines. It's still that way, right?
Yeah, it's one of the last vestiges of not
Unbelievable.
So you're talking about portability, the idea that you can buy insurance across state lines, not unlike the Progressive and Geico commercials you see, probably in all states now.
Yeah.
And there's no good reason not to do it. I've kind of unpacked that issue and been exploring it. What I've found is that, first of all, you have these state insurance commissioners in every state, and then the state general assemblies, what we call the legislature in Indiana. And they have their rules. They say, well, if you're going to sell insurance in this state, let's say you're in New Jersey, you got to offer hair plugs. You got to offer all this other stuff. So here is an example of where the states kind of gum it all up, and the insurance companies say, well, look, I got my territory here, they got their territory here, and we're used to issuing policies here and not there. And so the insurance companies, in my investigations so far, have become complicit in this and kind of like the territorial system. But there's absolutely no reason. I mean, competition's a good thing in everything, right?
Of course it is. I mean, it's all such common sense, Todd. I mean, you can't believe it doesn't exist like this. What's your fix? Tell me about this act. What do you got?
Now this act, I got to tell you this. Let me segue a little bit. It just concerns itself with Medicaid. Okay, which is the health insurance for the poor. Sure. Now, this is something that is generally run by states already, money given to it by the federal government. In fact, it's 7% of our federal operating budget. I don't want to, be in a position of boring your listeners, but I'm on the budget committee, so I'm going to talk in terms of percentages and numbers.
Go ahead. We need some grown-up stuff.
But, so 7% of our operating budget. This is one of the drivers of our debt. Okay, so you talked about the debt. You always talk about the debt. You do a great job with it. And that lobe that you talked about coming out of people's heads, I'm trying to puncture that and deflate it and say, look, don't believe this BS, because you could talk about raising taxes on the rich and getting the proletariat all groused up, so to speak. But the fact of the matter is, we are spending money on ourselves that we're printing. Okay. And it's in Medicaid, it's in Medicare, it's in Social Security, it's in the interest we owe other countries, and it's in all the welfare programs. That accounts for 67% of our spending year over year. So my bill says, hey, you know what? With regard to Medicaid, we can save $2 trillion every decade. Now, that's even in Washington, that's some serious money. By just getting the federal government out of the business, getting it back to the states, capping it, and letting the states determine and the three things: who is poor, what the poor should really get in terms of health care, and how they should get it. It's already been done through a waiver in Rhode Island. Now, Dennis, Rhode Island we're talking about.
Right.
It's a place where you can swing a dead cat and hit 5 PETA liberals, okay? And now they're all Italian, but they're still liberal.
I dig Roki. He's funny, man. But who could fight this? What do they fight it? They immediately say you want to Les Mis the poor, right? That's
my Twitter feed's all about that right now. You must hate poor people,
It's unbelievable.
Well, no, I want to empower poor people. I want to empower the states to solve this, because anytime you have a federal government try to do something, it always screws it up.
Todd, here's what people don't realize. They want to hold incremental pain at arm's length and have no pain until they don't realize they're going to have utter pain. The whole thing collapses. Nobody's going to be looking for them. I mean, you're going to see guys, they're going to be like the guy, Bruce Ismay, who owned the Titanic. He's going to be dressing up as a woman to get into the lifeboat. When these idiot progressives crash this and the poor look around and say, what do you mean there's no check this month? You think they're going to find, I mean, they're going to see Roadrunner clouds heading off into the distance. But how do you break through this rhetoric that says Todd Rokita is somebody who's an evil guy and that they're the saviors of the underclass? Are you making any headway?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing you do is not back down. And you know, on the budget committee, working with Paul Ryan, Chairman Ryan, excuse me, we're going to introduce a budget for the third year in a row. The worst thing we can do is back down from that. And it's going to have elements of this Medicaid reform hopefully in it again for the second year in a row. So, and what did we get for introducing that budget for 2 years in a row? We got Todd Rokita and Paul Ryan rolling old people off a cliff in a wheelchair. You know, so the worst thing you do is give up, and we're not doing that. And that's a great thing. In fact, we're getting a little bit more aggressive. We're going to balance this budget. Our goal is in 10 years. Which doesn't sound like a big deal to you and me, but for Washington, that's radical.
Well, stay close to Paulie because he's a kid on the come. You know, I've often said Ryan's so fit he could be his own Secret Service agent, so we can save a little money there. You can follow Congressman Rokita on Twitter at Todd Rokita. Listen, I like Tammy Faye Boehner as a guy. He seems like a nice guy, but he goes to tears, the crying couch too quickly. Get somebody up there with a lock on their face, and that's Ryan. You guys got to have a little coup up there. And, you know, I know you can't say it, but Ryan's the beast. He should be in that speaker, guys. You should be his right-hand man. But are you a wartime consigliere, Todd Rokita?
I am. There's lovers and there's fighters, and I'm a fighter.
All right, baby.
My wife tells me.
Okay, Rokita, good to talk to you, man. Good luck with this thing.
See ya.
Later, Gator.